everybody, welcome back to another episode here of the Just Saiyan Podcast. Here with Chris, and we have Kenny as always. Here with
Hey, what's up, guys?
Today's episode, we got episode 3, and a little bit of a layout change here. You'll see there's a little time discussion thing at the bottom here, which I will put the topics that we do have up in the bottom here, so you guys can look at those as well, so you guys can maybe go through the video and just kind of see where that topic is currently. So today's episode, we're going to be going over quite a bit of stuff. Figured that we do a recap of, I was in Tennessee, so I can do a kind of a recap of Tennessee.
I did not get to go, sadly.
We had two store championships in our area.
Yep.
And then there's like 2 other regionals, or I guess technically 3 now maybe, that have happened since the course of our last.
I think in Asia, Oceania. I think one just happened in Europe today, didn't it?
Yeah, there was the European one. There was a 1K in Pennsylvania that I'll talk about very briefly. There wasn't much to really say about it.
And then there was the Asia regional.
Yeah. Yep. So.
Okay.
So So first of all, Kenny, how you doing, man?
Well, when we get to talking about store championships, we'll talk about how I feel, how better I've been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to shave my beard out of penance. Gotta repent.
I can't wait to hear about it.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm so mad at myself.
Well, I'll give you a little bit of time to kind of prep yourself, but we'll go over Tennessee first. So we had, Tennessee happened. I honestly thought it was a very successful weekend. I had a lot of fun. I played Cumber, which actually I don't think at the time of this video my Cumber list might have gone out. I've placed like 62nd, I think, which was awful in hindsight, because I made a mistake. And I don't know if you do this before an event. Sometimes I will switch a card like right before the event, and it always fucks me.
Absolutely. See, absolutely will not. See, I'm the person that, like, when I send you, like, my deck profiles, like, I send you, like, my layout of what my deck looks like, that is a finalized list. So if I'm going into a big event, that's the list I'm testing. That is, like, once I have, like, this is what I want to play, that is what we stick with. Like, obviously, like, if it's, like, a week before the event and I'm still testing, I'll swap out, like, an Overrealm or here and there just to see what works better. But right before, like, 2 days before an event, the deck does not get touched.
Yeah, I switched out my Secret Rare, which costed me.
Oh, don't tell me you took out Cumber Secret Rare.
I did, yeah.
I'm gonna fight you.
honestly, it was an incredibly stupid decision. I played Golden Cooler. It didn't win me a single game. It was a really stupid decision. I understand. So I went 4-3. Which I should have been. I should have been 6-2 if I played Evil Saiyan. I'm sorry, 6-1. I should have been 6-1. Because I only realistically lost one game, and it wasn't even I lost. It was just he saw Beast Gohan and played it and killed me for 1-0. Yeah, it was quite stupid. But yeah, so I went 4-3 with Cumber. Everyone else kind of, I think, placed in the top, like, between 80, and so, like, we didn't like do great. Tyler did get 26th place with 7Q. That video should be on the channel probably before this video comes out, so you guys go watch that. So he was kind of afterwards, he was like, yeah, and you said this deck was bad. I'm like, I know, yeah.
Showed you.
Yeah, I won't talk too much about my deck itself. Outside of that, like, I would have, if I played Evil Saiyan, I would have probably won. I would have won 2 more games, because all of my games, which is hilarious to think about, is I never played my Secret Rare. I played it twice and I lost both those games. But I never lost due to, like, even through that, I lost on a last ditch effort by the 3 people I lost to. They was like, hey, if you out combo this, you win, and I, like, missed by like 5k. Every time. So, like, every game was, like, super close, even without using the correct Secret Rare. So it is what it is. But yeah, so it made me feel really good, though, that the deck performed incredibly well with basically no secret rare. I didn't even play a secret rare the entire weekend. It was great. But Gohan, Green Gohan, ended up winning the event. I would put an asterisk next to it.
Yeah, winning the event.
I put an asterisk next to it. The guy who won.
You know this is the best card in the game.
Yeah, he won.
Discard off your leader, draw 3.
But
and then play it. Value.
Yeah, I will say this. It's hard to call someone out for cheating if the players who are playing against him don't know what his cards do either. So you know.
Listen,
what I'm saying?
I mean, no, I don't know. I'm a big advocate. Is excuse me. It is both players' responsibility to know what the card does.
Yeah.
I get that, but at the same time, you should know what your own cards do.
Yeah,
Like, I understand misplaying happens. Like, sometimes you play a card, you miss a trigger, you forget an effect. I get that. We're all human. We've all done it. But if you're playing a card and it says when your opponent does something and you're doing the effect off your own cards, triggering off your own cards, like, you read your own cards.
Yeah, there was a lot of cheating. There was a lot of cheating with that Gohan deck. The card that Kenny showed, people were playing it off of that skill, which is not how it works. Pitching it off your leader.
Yeah, it distinctly says when an opponent's card effect makes you discard a card.
Yeah, there was like.
It says opponent on the card.
It was a lot, man. You know, win's a win, I guess, at the end of the day, because you still get the prizing for it. So nothing you really change now. But,
and it not like it mattered. He already had a Nats invite anyway.
Yeah. So, but it just kind of goes to show you guys. So I don't trust anybody that I play against. It doesn't matter who it is. I always look at their cards because.
Oh, I'll read every single card. If I don't know exactly what that card does down to a science, I will read it twice.
Yeah, I didn't have a ton of that playing it. I had maybe one or two people not knowing what their cards do, but it wasn't awful. But yeah, the fact that this guy was able to win and
you didn't have an Origins recap where you had to go, no, that's what it does.
No, I didn't have to do that. Yeah, I didn't play. I didn't play against that guy, so that was fine. Yeah, that was quite funny. Hilarious story of me playing Xenosin, and then a particular very good player telling me that calling a judge because I swing at my leader, and my leader discards a card and draws a card. So, yeah, whatever.
Because your leader wasn't a Shadow Dragon.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, hey, at least I didn't evolve a 7-drop Frieza on top of a 5-drop Frieza. So
for free.
Yeah, for free. Whatever. Moving on. So there's so obviously Gohan won. Whatever. Then we had two other events. There was the Oceania, or not the Oceania. Yeah, the Oceania regional, which was
No, it wasn't Oceania, it was Asia.
Asia. Who won the Asian regional?
Gohan.
Gohan, okay.
Gohan.
And then the European one that took place this weekend, or this last weekend, was also Gohan, and there was
Gohan.
It was a Gohan finals. And then there was a 1K in Pennsylvania that like 10 people went to, and I think Golden Frieza won. Who cares? I'm not talking about that one, but I figured at least give the information of what won. So Gohan seems to be the deck that people want to play. I would not say that green is back. I would just say Gohan's a really good deck. Probably safe to say.
No, I say the same thing, and I'm your green savant over here. Like, I'm the one that thinks this is a green meta, and at the same time, I agree with you.
Yeah, it's not green. It's just Gohan. Gohan's a very solid deck. There's not a lot of other green leaders that could do what Gohan does. There's some okay green leaders, but
the Gogeta does the same. The thing about the Gogeta, it does the same thing. It just plays a different engine. Yeah,
and it's not as good.
I agree.
I think Gogeta's a cool deck. It's definitely more playable now, but it's like it's kind of like the Soul Striker effect, right? It's like, why would you play a blue deck when you can play Soul Striker? Why would you play another green deck when you can just play Gohan? It just doesn't really make much sense, to be honest with you. So, So now I was talking to some of the guys in the Discord and actually at locals today. I don't think Gohan's the best deck in the format. I just think people are not playing around Gohan yet. Obviously, we're like 3 events into the competitive season, so like a lot of people don't know how to play against Gohan yet. But I play black. I'm not worried about Gohan. It does nothing. It does nothing to me. But other people who don't play black, it's a little more different.
From the matchups we've had, like, it's not like it's an auto lose when we played, but at the same time, like, you definitely didn't have the same struggles other matchups have had with Gohan.
I was watching people. I think I wasn't watching people play it today, but I was watching some of the regionals. And I'm like, man, imagine if you can just like negate this attack and then stop all of the effects on the card. Wouldn't that be amazing? It'd be crazy if there was a card that did that. And it's in black, so it's great. A lot of other colors don't seem to have an answer to it. Obviously, Dirty Burst got banned. There's Violent Rays, but Violent Rays is awful.
Mafuba takes care of it.
Mafuba does. You have to have 2 energy up.
Yeah, that's the only downside is you have to have 2, but you're blue.
Yeah, there's not a lot of decks that now that Gamma's gone that have the ability of keeping 2 energy up. Like you're keeping 1 up maybe for like 17. But yeah, you have to hit Mafuba and then pray that you can like combo out of the other stuff. What else? Yellow's yellow, but yellow can't stop the Gohan effect.
Yeah, yellow can't stop the Gohan effect. They can just stop me from swinging, and they do that a lot.
Yeah. They can they can Vegito, which then will just force you to tap something. Does your field have barrier?
Yep.
Okay, so you can't tap the field.
So I can't even tap the field.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you'd have to tap something, but then you're still gonna burn them alive, and that's quite a lot there. So
yeah, it's worth tapping down an extra energy or something like that just to make that happen. Because even in a worst case scenario, I'm swinging with that Gohan, and I'll tap my leader down to do it.
Yeah.
Because I don't get any benefit from attacking with my leader anyway.
Yeah, unless you're wanting to like double strike him with your
sure.
leader, but yeah, so I personally don't think Gohan is the best deck in the format. I just think people are right now. Gohan is going to be the deck that people are going to play. I still think 21 is. Unfortunately, I hate that deck. I honestly, preferably, I would love to play against Gohan every time instead of 21.
Ironically, as well too, is I have not seen a single 21 since this set came out.
I've played against 2 since. Both of them at locals. One was last Friday, where I repeatedly killed the 21 player at like 7-8 life with Mechikabura, which is just that deck. That deck is fantastic.
We'll get into that one on another time.
That'll be a different video, but that deck is woo. But yeah, I've only seen 2. I didn't see any at Tennessee. I think there was 1 or 2. There was like one or 2 that topped. I think maybe just 1. I saw expert deck a lot, but yeah, I don't know. I've been told that 21 has a favorable Gohan matchup, but then like I've always seen the Gohan deck like do better. So it's weird. It's like people are saying that the Gohan deck has an unfavorable matchup against 21, but 21 loses.
I'd say I wouldn't know. I haven't even played that matchup yet.
Hopefully you won't have to.
I hope not, because I played it when I played Gotenks, and that was just beating my head against a wall for 25 minutes.
So would you say that Gohan, in your opinion, do you think Gohan is the best deck in this current format? This is what everyone's going to be playing around?
No, but I think it is in fact the most represented.
That's fair.
It is the most represented deck. It's the shiny new toy. Yeah. Everybody, including people who don't play green, are currently playing the deck. I mean, and I get it. It's because you basically have a 4 of secret rare in your SR Gohan.
Yeah.
So that card is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Now, calm down. This isn't me being like everybody else and saying, oh, this card needs errated or limited to 1 or ban. No, quiet. We had to deal with fucking 8-drop Sin for how long?
I mean, an 8-drop. Yeah,
huh?
Yeah.
And Gogeta, like, right, Green got a good toy, and now everyone's calling it broke, calling it unfair. Like, come on now.
It just needs to. It's fine. It's a fine card. Again, as a black player,
mind you, it does a lot for 2 energy. It does a lot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, we watched Sin and Gogeta do the same thing for what 2-3 formats.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not broken. It's just very good. It's just
No, right now Gohan is the boogeyman of the format, and it's because everyone is playing it. But I think once everyone settles down, people start getting back into what they play. I think I agree with you. 21 is probably the best deck of the format.
Yeah, 21 just seems. I think the 21 Secret Rare is just an incredible good piece. Obviously, like there's actually like because I've done it where I've killed somebody after they've secret rared, and it's like cool. You go back up to 4 life, and I just kill you anyways. So like you have to do it in a favorable spot, and against Gohan, it's difficult sometimes, I guess, because you're constantly getting crit or constantly having to burn a life. So
or just getting pressured.
Yeah. So yes, and then playing 21 doesn't feel as good in some of the games, and then also this deck has the ability of just aggressing you down so quickly, especially if they don't attack you like on turn 1,
which Gohan typically won't, especially if they go for obviously if they go first, they're not attacking you turn 1.
But you have the Vegeta, which is like a 24k crit.
I think it's 25. No, it's 20. It's 20 because it gets 5k when you play from under the field, and then you combo the trunk. So 20k crit on its first swing.
Yeah, so 20k crit. You then have the Vegeta promo, which is another crit. You can't really combo out a lot of these. You have to like waste like a 21 combo from your hand or something, and then you're just having to deal with turn 3 and beyond. Goku, the Goku Gohan.
Just constant pressure.
So. Yeah, so I'm glad we're in agreement. So yeah, I think 21's still the best deck. I think.
Now I will go as far as say that Green Gohan is the second best deck. I'll say that with confidence.
I would say that in the grand scheme of the game, like what people are going to play, it's probably the second best. I think Gohan is. I mean, I don't want to make it just talking about black decks, so I'm trying to like think of other things I could play.
Yeah, if you know anything about Kyle Chris, if your deck ain't black, it ain't shit.
It's very true. I think every deck is bad, and if it's not black, so.
And even if it's black, he'll still say it's bad.
Depending. Yeah, depending.
No, let's talk to Boros Swap. Best deck of the format. Discuss.
It's awful. But like Hatchiak, for example, Hatchiak has a favorable.
I think the final round that they streamed in Europe was like round 8. That the on stream was Gohan versus Hatchiak.
You watch that Hatch player basically destroy that Gohan player. Gohan doesn't play a unison, so it makes they're basically swinging with the 8-drop, getting petrified, and then they're swinging with their 8-drop to make you warp your Gohan something else, and then 2 cards from hand. You know, Hatch has a favorable matchup against it. I think Trunks Xeno and Cumber both have favorable matchups against Gohan. Because all of these decks are going to be playing Petrification, and they all have ways of answering the 8-drop. And just like a lot of the pressure pieces. Other than 21, I don't see Blue really having a big answer to anything, because you can actually, when they play Goku, you can tap it with the 21 counterplay. It's called Unwavering Will. So it costs 4, but it's a counterplay, so you can use the Gohan to pay for the energy cost of the card. So it actually can be played, and then they'll rest it to pay for this card to play it.
Which is dumb. I don't think 21 should still be able to use things with barrier, but
yep, but so like that's why that's probably the only way I think that deck has a decent answer. Everything else, though, does not feel good to play Gohan. So, I could understand people saying that Gohan's too strong, or that the SR is, incredibly overtuned because they don't have answers to it in their colors. So, if Power Burst was still a thing, Gohan wouldn't be the best.
Dirty Burst?
Yeah,
you said Power Burst.
I'm sorry, yeah. Dirty Burst would just stop the card. So, yeah, I think Gohan's probably going to see the most representation, just because people are really excited to play green again.
At least for a while.
Yeah. So that kind of brings us in. We kind of talked a little bit about just players cheating, and it wasn't really just the Tennessee event too. There's a lot of other events actually that we had. There's obviously the Mexican regional that we had. It was just people just cheating left and right. And it seems to be a thing, and it's hard to say, so it's weird. So you want to just say cheating, right? You want to just call it cheating. And sometimes it is people just not knowing the cards. Like I've done that before, where like I've maybe have done an effect or something where I wasn't supposed to. But it's the consistency of this stuff happening kind of makes it seem that people are just taking advantage over the wording of cards, or people's just lack of knowledge with the game.
Yep.
And just trying to get away with cheating. And we see it a lot. There's a particular players in, I would say, the EU and NA. People know who I'm talking about, so I'm not even going to mention the names because it doesn't really need to. But
yeah, we're not gonna name drop here on Just Saying.
Yeah, I want to, but I don't.
Oh, we want to, but we're not going to.
I also just don't really care.
I don't want to have conversations with them.
Yeah, I mean, I can. I don't want to be a part of my day. But there's people who do cheat, and it just seems it's kind of a, hey, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do it with confidence, so you can't really call me out on it, right? It's very disheartening. So I think this kind of goes into the toxicity of our community sometimes, because
it's part of it.
People decide, or not decide, but people tend to kind of layer these two things on top of each other, right? Where it comes to all the cheating, and people like maybe asking for Q&As about particular cards, and then people just lighting people up, right? That's a good example of it, of what you're laughing at. And then there's other things too, where just people.
If any more, my thing is it almost feels like, as a player base as a whole, like the Dragon Ball Super player base, we're kind of gatekeeping newer players. Because a lot of these questions, if like, obviously you have veteran players that they'll ask questions and then they get, hit with, read the fucking card or some shit like that. It's like, that's counterproductive to this game. That's counterproductive to the community. And then you have brand new players that have not been playing this game since like set, 1. And they ask questions and then they get the same shit. And it's like, that doesn't help. That doesn't help it grow our game. That doesn't help expand our community.
Yeah.
All you're doing is telling these people basically to get fucked because they haven't been playing it since the inception of the game, and that's not helpful.
Yeah. We see it a lot at one of the locals that we go to, where newer players will try to get into the game, and then some of them are just, honestly, they come from different games, or like really like simplistic games like Digimon, where I wouldn't consider Digimon a competitive card game. It's very solitaire like. And then you come over and you play Dragon Ball, and you're like, holy shit, there's way too many interactions for me to do. And some of these cards are, the text is wrong. so that's something. And then I'm trying to ask questions, and people are giving me shit because I'm trying to ask questions to learn about the game. Or they're given the wrong information, which we see a lot of the times, where they're given, hey, this is what this card does, and then someone will go to an event, or they'll play at a locals, and then they're told that they're fucking wrong because that person gave them false information. Like
I said, there's a right and wrong way to handle it, and frankly, as a community, we're kind of handling it the wrong way.
Yeah, we have a lot of. I mean, I'm not the most. I want to say the positive person. I'm not the most. I feel like I'm a very helpful player. I try to help a lot of people, whether it's like with rulings, if people ask me questions just about the game in general. I do it. It happens quite a bit. I'm not a judge. I don't give a fuck about being a judge, and it's not a thing that makes me like, oh, I'm a judge. My ruling is right, because I've met plenty of the judges
that have done wrong rulings.
There's people who they rule the game in their own favor, or the player's favor who they're going against, or they're judging for, or whatever. So I don't take a lot of that into consideration. So there's only very few people who I would look for ruling advice, because I know that they know the game. That judge tag doesn't really mean shit a lot of the time. But it's like, people ask me questions, and I'll try to answer them my best I can. But then like, they're giving me questions. It's like, okay, who told you this? And there'll be somebody there. I'm like, why would you tell them this? This is how this card works, right? Like, it's a lot of dumb shit. So I really wish we can get better at that as a community, because then maybe, and part of it is on Bandai too, the way that they word some of these cards, and like having to errata an entire fucking
set. Their QA needs to step it up.
Yeah, it's awful. So like
because that's not going to help new players either. Because like say for instance you've never played this game before, and you pick up set 21 and you're like, Cell's my favorite character. Yeah, have fun.
Yeah.
90% of your deck's errated, and and say you don't have a local play group, and you go to an event, but you played your Cell deck, you've solitaired it or whatever. You go to a locals, you drive an hour to this locals, just for example, and like then you get there and you just can't play the fucking game because
Yeah.
Congrats, Cell doesn't work the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. So and that's a big thing, like especially with cheating, and we see cheating a lot on webcam. It seems to happen a lot more because you're not really sitting in front of that person. And if you are someone who has, been taken advantage of from this stuff, you need to make sure you are reading your opponent's cards. If you're sitting across from him at the table, read every fucking card that you have a question about. Read it, understand what these cards do. Don't just take their word for it because you're expecting them to know their shit. Just, oh, I'm reading your card, it says that it kills a 4 or less. You can't kill my 5 or less, right? Like, you need to make sure you know what these cards do in advance, and if you don't know, just read the fucking card, right? And if you're playing on a webcam, pull up DBS Deck Planet, or pull up
TCG Player even.
Yeah, TCG Player, just something where you can see the card and read it and understand what it does. So that way someone's not cheating you, because
that's 100%. Whenever I play webcam, that's 100% what I do, because I have, like most people, 2 monitor setup. Is I'll have the one set up to play the match, and the other one I will have DBS Deck Planet up.
Yep.
So if they play a card that I'm not familiar with, I'll pop it in real quick, see what it does, and then move on.
Yep. It's a good little tip, just to make sure you're able to keep an eye out on what your opponent's doing, and make sure you watch them. Make sure they're drawing, the correct amount of cards. Make sure.
Keep an eye on that shit too, because like just for example, here you're all gonna stare at my desk. This is all the space you have to work with. You don't see what's happening up here or over here. That's the problem I have with webcam, is like there's so much empty space that you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, if you don't like somebody's setup, you can call a judge and say, hey, his setup's not following regulation. Hey, I need you to do this. I need you to, if you can do this. And people should be doing that anyways. I've seen people play on fucking dinner trays, and I'm like, bro.
Did you see the meme of the dude playing in a car?
Yeah, like
he's got his mat on his lap, his deck's in the fucking the handhold and the door.
Man, like, it's just, we gotta figure out, like, and honestly, when the digital client comes out, a lot of this shit's not gonna, it's not gonna matter, I feel like, because a lot of events, I feel like there should be a lot of online events through the digital client, and that's gonna be impossible for you guys to cheat. So, because the game mechanics in the game are gonna, it's not gonna allow that to happen. So, so as we've kind of talked about already, with Gohan sort of being the king, quote unquote, of this format, what do we think, like, if we can kind of predict, do we think Gohan's still going to be on this high of just winning all these events? Is there a deck that you can think of? I know this is kind of counterproductive because you play Gohan, but like, is there something where you're like, this deck seems like it could do very well against Gohan, and people aren't playing it right now?
Cumber,
yeah.
Cumber, I haven't played the 21 matchup, but on paper, 21. But I can tell you from just our games alone, the Cumber matchup, there's not much you can do. Like, you get, like, your few swings with your big buy, but then Cumber just servants all your shit, and it just sits there. And they're not going to put it at the bottom of your deck while I give it back to you. They'll just put their own stuff back under. So you just have a bunch of dead cards just sitting on the field.
And a combo with it.
Yeah.
Combo with that shit. I don't know if there's anything. I think the way that the format's right now, which it's kind of open, which I like. There's so many deck possibilities. I don't really know of anything off the top of my head that I think could sort of change how the format is right now. Like I said, again, Cumber. I do think Cumber is a deck that I don't think it's going to see a lot of play because I think people are going to go. But I think people are going to play Trunks. Got Trunks a lot.
Well, and Cumber's a little bit of a it's a little bit of a difficult deck to play if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think it's a very high skill cap deck.
Yeah, but it's very rewarding if you have the skill cap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Kyle Chris doesn't with his 4-3 record in Tennessee.
Man, I wish I could have recorded some of those games, man. I played so fucking well at every game except for the game I played against the Blue Trunks where I didn't see like anything. He took me down to like 3 life on turn 3. I was like, bruh. I don't know what you want me to do here, man. Like, I'm not seeing a 6-drop Cumber to bottom deck any of this dumb shit. I can't play the 8-drop. I didn't bring my right secret rare. This is just awful. So shout out to that guy because he said he was a fan. So shout out to that guy.
Hey,
he was a cool guy. So what about you? So you have obviously the mailman. You don't get to come down to a lot of events, but you did get to play in store championship this last weekend.
All right, I'll see myself out.
How'd that go?
I mean, in retrospect, like, I didn't go bad. I got second. Well, tied for second, because I know Mitch is going to watch this and go, you didn't just get second. You tied for second because we had, the same record. Mm-hmm. But according to Bandai Software, I got second.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, and that deck was won by Gohan.
Yep, go on.
Second place was Gohan. And honestly, the Gohan matchup, the mirror match, I feel it's a dice roll win. Mm-hmm. I feel you have to win that dice roll. Like, it's not unwinnable if you go second, but you spend the first 2 to 3 turns just playing catch up.
Yeah.
Because they're first to get to their time chamber. They're first to get their, Z energy going. They're first to get their Goku onto the time chamber. They're first to awaken. Like, the only thing you get to do first is you get to play your Gohan SR. Mm-hmm. And even then, you're not necessarily completely set up to do it correctly.
Yeah. I've watched the mirror a few times. It seems like that, where it's
a dice roll.
Yeah, the person who goes first generally is going to have the advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it was so obviously you're playing. I think you're playing Cell Max.
Yes, I am
playing Cell Max, and then he was playing the Goku rare.
Yeah, he never resolved it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think he resolved it all day. And that's my problem with that SCR. Is like, don't get me wrong, it's not like that card's bad. It's not bad at all. It's fantastic. It's a band leader, but in card form.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Cell Max cost me 1 energy. That secret rare cost me 2. Mm-hmm. And in a green deck, like, you don't have the energy to mess around like that.
Yeah, 2 energy is a lot.
Yeah, 2 energy. I mean, mind you, the things I play for 2 energy are game changing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, Cell Max is a 40k quad striker and only cost me 1. And in our game, I got to play Cell Max. He didn't get to play his secret rare.
What were you both playing the same super combo? You both playing Paragus?
No, he was playing Durag Gohan because he doesn't own Paragus.
Okay.
So that felt bad. I said, dude, that's the thing I love and hate about Gohan is, like, it's not to discredit him because obviously, like, he didn't just auto win every game he played. Like, he got a good 3-0. But he was playing the complete budget version of Gohan.
And then able to win with it is pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, it's because the deck itself is just like the core for that deck itself is so solid. It's in its own.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to have all the Faded Rivals and the Radishes and the Kaioken Gokus, and you don't need all that shit. Like, he had the 8 Vegetas. Like, that's probably the only one I would say you need just to apply that kind of early pressure. But I don't think he had Kaioken Gokus. He might have had Faded Rivals, but neither one of us played any game.
Well, yeah, I would rather pay 2 energy for Goku Gohan.
I completely agree.
100%. I would rather.
There's certain situations where I'll play Fated Rival over Goku Gohan, but it just depends if I plan on swinging. If I'm not planning on swinging, I'll play Fated Rival because that's barrier removal without having to swing.
Mm-hmm.
If I plan on swinging, I'm playing Goku Gohan.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, but he was playing the Deadly Defender Goku, the one that if your Gohan's in battle, you pay green and play him. The other 1 plus 10k.
Yeah.
Goku. Yeah, he was playing like that, and like it was. I told him, I'm like, this is the budget version of this deck.
Yeah.
And the deck's good enough to do that. I mean, he won with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you've seen my list. It's far from a budget version.
Yeah, it's very teched out. And I agree. I think the deck has so many different levels to it. It could definitely be played as I wouldn't say a budget version, but you can kind of play the archetype itself and have very little outside green staples, and you could just play it that way. Like It's a very, very solid deck.
It's a solid core.
Yeah. It's got everything you need. Like it has an archetype floodgate, which is also a negate, like a hard negate. It's got an
archetype boss monster. It's got an archetype counterplay.
How many times did you play the counterplay, by chance?
Actually, as a counterplay, twice.
Okay.
A lot of times I used it as defensive combo, which I honestly taught him that you could do that because he didn't realize that it was a free 10k on defense.
Yeah, that's another thing about that card. I think actually I got an SPR of that today.
Ooh.
I have to look through my packs that we got from locals today.
But yeah, no, look, that trust me, I sat with one of them in my hand, and that's how he ended up winning. Is he pushed in, he time chambered the turn before a Trunks Vegeta.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following turn, when he went for the clapback, he led in with that, and I was at 4, and I let that attack go through. I had 3 in hand. I had random card that didn't matter, a Gohan negate, the Uneased Awakening Rage, and one of the Gokus, the counterplay Goku, and I was tapped out. But on my board, I had a Gohan, a Cell Max, a 4-drop Gohan. Like my board was stacked. So I was getting him on the clapback as he was at 2.
Mm-hmm.
And when he swung with that Trump with the Vegeta, instead of just, and he didn't combo further, so he met my 20k leader with a 20k swing. I let that crit. As opposed to just comboing that 10k Goku for free. And then just when he tapped with his big Gohan, because all he had was he had 3 cards in hand and he had that combo on board. He followed with a Gohan, followed with a leader swing. So realistically, like what I should have just comboed out of that, not took the crit life. When he played his Gohan, take the burn damage, because then he would use his Gohan leader effect to combo the free 10k. Then I would have just took that damage outright, take 2 damage, go to 1, and then when he swings with his leader, play the negate for free. Him and I talked about it, and I told him that. He's like, yeah, you should have done that. You would have won. I'm like...
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it happens.
Mistakes were made.
I mean, good on him, but I'm now a walking meme in our locals, so...
I had to hear about it forever. It's your turn now. So
no, I've had to hear about it since losing to Gamma when Jimmy played it. So
it's true. This is just chapter 2 of the saga.
I'm telling you, man, decks that can carry people. I'm gonna write a book about it because Gamma can carry players and Gohan can carry players.
Go odds. Yeah. It's kind of the same boat.
The deck's got strong shoulders.
What else do we have on the docket? I feel like we kind of breezed through a lot of that stuff. Is there anything else that we were going to go over?
I mean, I'm pretty sure we were going to discuss online versus offline regionals, and then when you wrote it down, I think we discussed it the way you wanted to. My discussion about it was, do the online regionals kind of kill the offline ones?
Okay.
Because what was our attendance at Tennessee?
150?
I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a good size regional, especially for what players were saying is a shit location.
It was okay. It's just because that mall's like dead. But
oh, it was in a mall?
Yeah, the store is in the mall.
Oh lord.
But the mall didn't really have a lot of like shops open even. So
you couldn't scrub out and go to Sears?
No. They had a food court which was pretty lit. That place didn't actually sell Dragon Ball singles, which was really fucking stupid. They sold based on what people sold them at the event.
Oh my.
So I know Tyler was really pissed about that when we first got there. He walked in, he's like, they don't fucking sell the singles. He's like, this is stupid. And they didn't start selling singles until Sunday. When people were selling the vendors' cards, they would then resell them. Whatever. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was like 150 people.
I'll say that. Well, then, like I said, but I look at it in this perspective: is we've had this season alone, just this regional season. How many face-to-face regionals? What, 5?
Around that, yeah.
We've had just as many online.
Yeah.
And the turnout seems to be equal to or better than with the online regionals, simply due to accessibility.
Yeah.
So it leads me to the question is, why are we bothering with offline regionals at this point? You know?
Yeah, I mean, going and playing in an event is still really fun.
Oh, I agree. I would love to be able to go to events, but at the same time, there's in the United States, I'm obviously going to exclude, Europe, Asia, Oceania, because I don't live there. I know nothing of the regions. But in the US, we have, in my opinion, two big TOs for this game. Excuse me. PPG and Core.
Yeah.
All of our regionals, with the exception of I think one so far, have been East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
I think only one of them has been PPG. I don't think PPG's done more than one live regional this year. Maybe 2?
No, I think it's just MomoCon. I mean,
yeah.
Technically, so they did the 1K in at Too Many Games, or whatever that place is called.
That's a 1K. That's not a regional.
Yeah.
You didn't get a Nats invite for that.
Yeah. Well, you didn't get anything. You got depression because only 10 people went. Yeah.
Easiest 1K ever.
Yeah. And Core hasn't really done anything.
Yeah, and that's the problem too, is you're running into this with all the West Coast players. If you want to go to a regional, you're looking at $800+ for an event, for a face-to-face event.
Yeah.
Whereas with webcam, you might have to just wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday.
I think yeah, I mean, I still like going to the events. I would like it if realistically, if we could have offline regionals or online events, we could have online events every week. Realistically, you don't need a venue. You just need prize support and 2 or 3 judges, and then you can run a fucking online event. It's not that hard. I do, and I said this earlier in the show, but I do believe we're gonna have the same conversation when the digital client comes out later this year. And if they add the tournament mode to the digital client, there's going to be almost no reason to play online regionals if they're not through the client. I pray to God they do something where the client can be played for the tournaments for online. Kind of like how during COVID we went from Untap to webcam because it was a better system, and now we can go the digital client to webcam.
Well, my only problem I have with that is, how are they going to do cards for the digital client? Is it going to be like Pokemon, or we're going to get codes inside a pack? And then I have to build a whole new collection?
I mean, obviously, I got to play the client.
The beta.
Yeah. So what it's probably going to be is closer to what Legend of Runeterra is, where when you play, you unlock currency to buy the cards. They might do something where Pokemon has it, where then you can get the card. That might be a thing. We won't know. I have a feeling they're going to release a set with the digital client to kind of promote it. And they might start with that set where they're including something in the packs where you can enter the code and you can get the cards that are in this pack included in the game. That would be really cool. We don't know if that's an actual thing yet. That's just speculation.
Well, yeah, because like I said, that's my only problem with the digital clients, especially, like I said, my biggest example is Pokemon, because I have a Pokemon deck sitting back there somewhere. But when you buy a pack of Pokemon cards, you get a code in that pack.
Yeah.
But say you pull a really good pack in Pokemon from that pack in real life, it's not the same pack on the TCG. It's more computer-generated cards, and it's all random what goes in there. So, like, that's the issue I run into with online clients, is now you're expecting me to buy more of your sealed product, to build a collection, to play the exact same deck that I've already spent hundreds of dollars on in real life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it's gonna kill online events. I mean, offline events. I don't think that's ever gonna, because like the experience you get from going somewhere and playing the card game, it's like Pokemon right now. There's Pokemon Online, like there's Pokemon TCG, like the digital competitive game, and then there's in person. So like I think same thing with Magic. I think
the thing is with the Pokemon though, the digital client isn't used for obviously flame me if I'm wrong, but I do believe the digital client isn't used as a regional tool.
Okay.
Like how we get our invites and whatnot for nationals. Pokemon does it different. You get champion points, and you have to get X amount to go to Worlds or whatever. Like, because NAIC was this weekend. It's the only reason I know all this, because Leo was down there, and I'm like, oh, he's filling me in on what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't believe you use the Pokemon TCG online client to get your points for nationals.
Okay.
Like, I believe it's just a standalone, like, fun thing. So that leads me to think, like, how are you going to handle that when your biggest competitor, someone who's already put a foothold in that market, doesn't even use that for their competitive play? They still do live regionals. They still do, big events. They still do everything in person, including the VCG. Like, you can't even do, they don't, like, your Switch has internet capabilities. Yeah. They do not do big events over long distance. Everyone takes their Switch to these events. So that leads me to the question of what's Dragon Ball going to do in that situation, because you really can't expect, in our case, hundreds, maybe thousands of players to want to build a collection twice.
Yeah, we'll find out. I guess it depends on what Bandai wants to do with the app, because Bandai might just want to just make it just for fun. I highly doubt that. I think there's going to be some sort of competitive aspect to it.
Like I said,
it's a card game, yeah.
It just all depends on what route they go with the app, because if they try to use it for regionals, like, you got to figure out how I can get my cards that I physically own credit towards that game.
I know I'm not huge into Magic, but I know that during the pandemic, obviously a lot of the Pro League was done through the Magic client, like through like the game, the digital game. And then I know there's a lot of players who then transitioned from the digital game into cardboard once the pandemic was over with, because that was the only way to join the Pro Tour. Now, DBS doesn't really have a Pro Tour, even though PBG does run a Pro Tour. We don't really have the same sort of setup where when you top, you're able to go to these different events. So, I guess we'll see. It's very...
Oh, the Magic Pro Tour is a very big ordeal. Don't get me started on that, because I almost made that once.
Yeah. So I guess we can wrap up the show here with we had our we didn't do it last week because we were going over some other stuff, but our side deck choices, or our side deck tech. I'll let you go first, because mine's not really a side deck tech as much as it is a legit main deck one-of card. But I feel like it's kind of a slept-on card, and I want to talk about it a little bit.
Well, all right, we'll do mine first then, and mine's going to be for you green players out there, because everyone wants to play green now. And we heavily discussed the Cumber matchup.
Yeah. So
this is for that specific matchup. I don't know why these have shot up other than that, and that's hopefully everyone's on the same page as me, because this card went from $2 to $10 overnight. That's pretty black hole. Don't know what else you're playing it in, what else you're using it for, but my thought is strictly for Cumber, because if you're going to give all of my cards Servant and I'm going to have no use for them, I'm just going to pop them and proceed to stop an attack and get value off of that card just sitting there collecting dust.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and for those who don't know what Pretty Black Hole does, 1 drop for 1 specified green, counterattack, negate the attack, and then you may choose one of your battle cards, negate its skills, and place it in the drop. If you do, draw 1, then choose any number of your opponent's non-token battle cards, which total cost is less than or equal to the energy of the card placed in the drop by this skill, and KO him. So, an example, when Chris and I played before, he used his Cumber to give my 8-drop Gohan Servant, after I already swung with it. So, it sat there on the board and did nothing.
Yep.
He's not stupid, he's not going to put it at the bottom of my deck to draw a card. Because then I have access to it again.
Nope, we just said so.
So, Pretty Black Hole, pay 1 green, KO it, it's an 8 cost. I'm going to draw a card to replace Pretty Black Hole, I'm going to negate whatever swing he has, and I'm going to pop up to 8 costs worth of cards on his side of the field. You make value out of a useless card.
Yeah, you basically can use it to just kill the, for whatever reason, if they keep their Secret Rare on board.
You can kill Cumber, you can kill the Evil Saiyan, you can kill their 8-drop, you can kill their 6-drop.
Yeah, you can kill their Overwhelm targets that they would play.
Yeah, because the Cumber cards don't have barrier.
No.
And that's like their big glaring flaw, is they're vulnerable to cards like that.
Vulnerable to everything. They don't have to fucking deflect, barrier, no defense. It's all offense, baby. It's all offense.
All gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes. All right, well, my card is... I was going to talk about answers for Gohan, but I'm not going to do that, because...
Gonna keep the spice to yourself, huh?
Well, no, there's like 1 or 2 cards in every color palette that actually work against Gohan. I feel like I'll probably wait for a different video to talk about that stuff. But I'm going to talk about the Dark King. I think it's called Dark King Mechagabora. It's the Secret Rare that just came out that people were saying was really bad.
And by people, he means us.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, this card's... Yeah, me too. I was like, holy shit, this card's awful. Then I read it, which is the thing that us Dragon Ball players need to start doing more, is reading the actual cards. So the Floodgate effect on this card is disgusting. And it technically is a Floodgate that is also comes in the form of a 40k body. So essentially what it does, you play it for 1 if between you and your opponent have more than 7 cards in their warp total.
This one for those who don't...
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that one.
So if you have this card in play, or for one, it comes if you have 7 or more cards between you and your opponent and the warp, which is like which is the only problem with it, because there's certain decks that don't really do that well. You can counterplay any card coming in that's 7 or less, goes into the warp. Then, for every card in your opponent's Z deck, and now this is where the card kind of gains a lot of value or loses value. Based on the amount of cards in your opponent's Z deck, you add that many battle cards from your drop or your warp underneath the Mechagabora, and then it can't be removed for the turn. All right, so this is all in the green. This is all in the green text, meaning that this cannot be negated. So
they can't T-blow it.
They can't T-blow. They can T-blow the auto effect, but they can't T-blow that effect. The auto effect says, when your opponent attacks or this card attacks, you discard a card from underneath this card and you warp one of your opponent's battle cards. In theory, this card coming down, hitting the board, so let's say for instance, let's say you play this card and you go to counterplay and they say Desperate Measures. Great. I'm going to counterplay that card and my Secret is going to go back to my hand. I'm sorry, it doesn't go back to the hand because it can't be removed, right? So that's like a perfect example of this. So any counterplay that says, okay, this card gets removed from the game or gets sent to the warp or whatever, it hits the board, and because it's all in the green text, it can't be removed. Then if they don't negate that skill, that auto skill, every time they attack, you get to warp one of their cards. So needless to say, it is sort of a floodgate for 1 energy that also hits another card coming into play. And then if it sticks on the board, which it's going to because it can't be removed for the game or for that turn, you can now swing 40k dual attack, and then you can, if you have any more cards underneath it, you can still warp stuff. So I've played this card in matchups where my opponent has had all 7 cards in their Z deck, and I stack 7 cards underneath this bad boy. I can remove 7 things. That's really cool. There's a particular card that was printed in the last champ set. That was the Toa, where you can Spirit Boost on this card, and you can make it a I think it's like it gives the card 10k and double strike.
Oh yeah, the new champ Toa.
Yep. So you can give a card. I guess my dog wants to join the video here. You can give, because it's a 5k combo, you give that card an extra 10k combo and double strike, so you can make your secret rare a 55k double striker. That's really strong. So I kind of slept on that card a little bit. There's a lot of decks right now where Evil Saiyan just kind of feels better, but I definitely think it's a card to consider. And it's like $40. So if you're going to be playing black at some point, I would pick up that card. Because it was like, how much was Cell Max at one point? Wasn't it like under $70, $80?
I think it was like $90 is where is the lowest it got.
That's like, that card is fantastic, right? So like if you're playing man, secret rares have gone down so much in price since I started playing the game. I remember secret rares, like secret rares used to be over $200. You had to pay that price to get the card. Now it's like you can just drop $50-$60 on a card and you're getting a very powerful secret rare. So pick up Mechikabura if you don't already have it, because we need very little for Demon God, Demon Clan, whatever, Demon
Realm race.
Yeah, Demon Realm race decks to be good. Like Mechikabura is like
right there.
Man, it honestly it probably is there right now, but there's some matchups that are a little difficult, like yellow is really odd, but it puts in so much pressure. It's such a fast deck, and I'm not saying I would play that secret rare in that deck currently, because I think Evil Saiyan's better, but it is a potential for a lot of decks maybe coming out. If you can put some cards in the warp, you got a really powerful floodgate that also can stop their floodgates. So yep. Any closing topic or anything you want to go over?
No, I'm just gonna reiterate: be better to each other. Like as a community, be better to each other.
Yeah.
You know, there's the toxicity. It's like I'm not saying I'm not guilty of it. Like I've done the same shit. We all have. Chris has done it.
I still do it.
He still does it. He does it to me.
I'm very toxic.
He does it to me, and I'm on a podcast with him.
Yeah, I'm very now. But people who know me though, and I think it's the same thing with you. It gets taken out of context sometimes. Like, I'm very competitive, and if people talk shit, I am a grade A shit talker. Like we can have fun, but I take nothing personal. The unfortunate part is that not everybody. I can't say the same thing for everybody because people do take that shit personal. So,
yeah, I take it personal. I'm actually selling my whole collection because I got told I got beat by Joe too many times.
Yeah, you're like the third place Gohan player now.
Yeah, I'm like the second best Gohan player in the locals.
Yeah. Got
beat by a budget deck.
Yep, it's better.
Mismatch rarities and everything.
And it didn't matter. He
mismatched his way to victory.
He did. And now
even though he cheated against Mitch, I'll put that in for you, Mitch.
Yeah, and we were calling him Joe Rizzi at locals. So that was fun. We said it to him, and he was like, "Huh?" And then it got a good laugh at everybody. So
just so everyone realizes what happens, he played two of the Uneasing Awakening Rages in one turn. It's a limit 1 card.
Yeah, but Mitch is stupid because he didn't call it.
Yeah, like I said, it's both players' responsibilities.
Full spectrum here on the topics. You need to make sure you read your opponent's cards. Stop trusting your opponent.
Yeah, don't trust yourself.
Yeah, I read all my shit. I almost cheated today. I had to stop myself from cheating. I was like, oh man, wait, I can't do that. If I combo with this card, it gets removed from the game instead. I'm like, oh wait, I can't do that.
Yeah, be better to each other out there. Like, we want this game to continue to thrive and do well, and if we keep, obviously, read the fucking card on each other, Or doing that to even new players, like, how can you expect this game to thrive? How can you expect this game to expand?
Yeah. Agreed.
You know.
So
that's all I got.
All right. I don't really have much. Hopefully I see some of you Gohan players online looking for that free dub. So just hit me up if you wanna lose really quickly. I can put your deck in the dirt. See? I can't help it. It's toxic, man. Sorry. All right. Well, what I'll do is for us on episode 3 here of the Just Saiyan Podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, or listening to it if you guys want to hear our ASMR voices. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Later, guys.